The morning sun glinted off the glass walls of Boston Luxury Motors, a showroom where wealth roared in silence. Porsches, Bentleys, Ferraris gleaming under soft lights, each a dream priced beyond most imaginations. Ellen Harper, 36, stepped through the doors, her dark hair pulled into a loose ponytail, her faded jeans and plain gray t-shirt a stark contrast to the polished opulence around her. At 36, she carried a quiet strength, honed from years building the Harper Fund for Underprivileged Youth, a non-profit she'd bootstrapped into a lifeline for thousands. Few knew her success, or the billions tied to her husband's tech empire. She liked it that way, finding peace in simplicity. Today, she was here for her brother Mark, whose 45th birthday deserved something big, a sleek red coupe she'd spotted online, perfect after his years battling addiction. Across the showroom, Ryan Kessler adjusted his silk green tie, his tailored black suit hugging his frame as he scanned the floor. Sales manager at 32, he prided himself on reading people, serious buyers from tire kickers, in a glance. Spotting Ellen, he smirked, nudging a colleague, her scuffed sneakers and casual vibe screamed out of place to him. A young salesman, Ethan, approached her first, his slightly oversized blazer flapping as he smiled. "Welcome to Boston Luxury Motors, I'm Ethan. Looking for something specific?" Before Ellen could answer, Ryan swooped in, waving Ethan off. "I've got this," he said, turning to Ellen with a grin that didn't touch his eyes. "Lost, ma'am? Need directions?" Ellen blinked, unfazed. "Actually, I'm interested in that red coupe," she said, nodding toward the $290,000 beauty on a platform. Ryan's smile tightened. This was going to be fun, he thought, and Ellen's day took a sharp turn she hadn't expected. Ryan's eyes flicked over Ellen, jeans frayed at the hem, t-shirt slightly wrinkled, no jewelry beyond a plain watch, and his smirk widened. "That's the Crimson Pulse Limited," he said, voice dripping with mock patience, "one of 12 made this year, starts at $290,000. He paused, letting the number hang, expecting her to flinch. Ellen didn't. "I'd like to know more, can I see inside?" she asked, calm and polite. Ryan's expression soured. He'd seen dreamers before, wasting his time with fantasies while quotas loomed. "It's by appointment only," he lied, crossing his arms. "Serious buyers book ahead, maybe our used lots more your speed, 3 blocks down." Behind him, 2 salesmen snickered, their whispers cutting through the hum of the showroom. Ellen's fingers tightened around her phone, familiar with snap judgments but irked by the blatant dismissal. "I'm here for this one," she pressed, voice steady. Ryan's patience thinned, his tone sharpening. "Look, this isn't a museum, these cars are for a certain clientele." Just then, a couple in tailored coats swept in, dripping wealth, Rolex flashing, heels clicking, and Ryan's demeanor flipped like a switch. "Excuse me," he said, brushing past Ellen without a glance, "Mr. and Mrs. Langston, a pleasure." He ushered them to the coupe, opening the door with a flourish, leaving Ellen stranded. Ethan shuffled over, apologetic. "Sorry about that, want me to tell you about it?" Ellen nodded, grateful, as Ethan rattled off specs. Across the room, Ryan pitched the Langstons, 8-month waitlist, but I've held one for VIPs. Ellen listened, jaw tight, as the car she'd asked for gleamed under someone else's fingertips, Ryan's arrogance setting the stage for a reckoning. Ellen stepped out into the crisp Boston air, the showroom's glass doors hissing shut behind her, Blake's parting shot, "Some people don't know their place," ringing in her ears. Her cheeks burned, not from shame but from quiet fury, for every kid she'd helped who'd faced worse without her resources. She dialed James Harper, her husband of 16 years, and recounted the morning, Ryan's sneer, the snickers, the public brush-off. At their sprawling estate 10 miles out, James listened, his gray eyes darkening behind his desk, papers shoved aside. At 43, the renewable energy titan kept a low profile despite his billions, but Ellen's story stirred something protective. "What do you want to do?" he asked, voice steady. Not revenge, she said, awareness. James grinned faintly. I've got an idea, nothing flashy. She laughed. Better not be. The next morning, Boston Luxury Motors hummed with routine, Ryan strutting in, tie crisp, recounting yesterday's dreamer to smirking colleagues. At 10:23, a low rumble cut through the chatter, a Rolls-Royce Phantom, custom black cherry finish, rolled up, its $1.3 million presence silencing the room. A chauffeur in white gloves opened the rear door, and James Harper stepped out, tall, suit sharp but understated, salt and pepper hair catching the light. Ryan's pulse quickened. This was a whale, a client to chase. "Good morning, sir," he called, rushing over. "Ryan Kessler, sales manager, welcome." James shook his hand, coolly polite. "James Harper. I'm here about the Crimson Pulse coupe." Ryan beamed. "Perfect choice, one of 12, I know," James cut in. "My wife was here yesterday asking about it, you told her she didn't belong." Ryan's face froze, the dots connecting too late, as the showroom held its breath. Ryan's smile stuck like a glitch, his mind scrambling as James's words sank in. "Your wife," he stammered, voice thinning. "Ellen Harper, jeans, gray t-shirt," James said, his tone even but piercing. "You suggested used cars and kicked her out." Behind Ryan, Ethan gasped softly, hovering near a desk, while Richard Reed, the owner, emerged from his office, drawn by the tension. "Everything all right?" Reed asked, smoothing his pinstripe suit. James turned, unflinching. "Mr. Reed, I assume? Your sales manager here refused my wife's service yesterday, judged her by her clothes, humiliated her in front of your staff and clients." Ryan's throat bobbed, sweat beading. "Mr. Harper, there was a mix-up, we welcome everyone." "No mix-up," Ethan blurted, stepping forward, cheeks flushed. "She was polite, asked about the coupe, and got dismissed." Ryan glared, but James ignored him, focusing on Reed. "Ellen runs the Harper Fund for Underprivileged Youth, raised $60 million for kids who'd never get a fair shot. She dresses simply by choice, not necessity." Reed paled, sensing the stakes. "Mr. Harper, I'm mortified, this isn't our standard, it's what happened," James said, cutting through the platitudes. "She wanted the coupe for her brother. I was also eyeing a fleet, 8 vehicles, for my company, maybe more for me. But now?" He let it hang, the unspoken threat heavy. Ryan's knees wobbled, Reed's eyes darting. The showroom watched, silent, as James turned the tables, not with anger, but with the quiet weight of truth. The air in Boston Luxury Motors thickened, Ryan's polished facade crumbling under James's steady gaze. "Mr. Harper," Reed jumped in, voice tight, "we'll fix this, please, let us make it right." James tilted his head, considering. "Maybe. But it's not just about cars." He turned to Ryan, who shrank slightly. "The Harper Fund's hosting a gala next month, new youth center for kids in need. You'll be there, volunteering, not as a guest. Set up, support, see the work up close." Ryan swallowed hard, nodding stiffly. "Yes, sir." James shifted to Reed. "And your team could use bias training, consultants, the works. I've got names." Reed nodded fast. "Absolutely, we'll implement it." James glanced at Ethan, hovering anxiously. You'll handle the sale. Start with the coupe for my brother-in-law." Ethan's jaw dropped. "Me? Thank you, sir, I'd be honored." James gave a curt nod. "Good. Let's talk fleet details in your office, Mr. Reed." As they moved off, Ryan stood rooted, tie askew, the showroom buzzing quietly around him. He'd misjudged, spectacularly, his smugness not just costing a sale, but exposing him. Ellen's dignity, James's quiet power, and Ethan's honesty had flipped his world upside down. He trudged toward the break room, the lesson already sinking in. Worth wasn't in the suit, but in the actions, and he'd failed that test miserably. A month later, the Harper Fund Gala lit up a Boston ballroom, laughter, clinking glasses, kids in wheelchairs and braces mingling with donors. Ryan Kessler stood near the entrance, not in his slick suit but a plain staff polo, directing guests and pushing a girl named Lily's wheelchair to the photo booth. The past 4 weeks had been a blur, hauling tables, sorting supplies, watching kids like Lily tackle obstacle courses with grins that cracked his old cynicism. It started as penance, a way to save his job, but somewhere between Lily's trash-talking his basketball skills and a boy named Sam's quiet thank you for a ramp fix, Ryan changed. He saw what Ellen built, hope, not handouts, and his snap judgments felt small, hollow. Ellen approached, simple in a green dress, no trace of triumph in her eyes. "How's it going, Ryan?" He straightened, earnest. "Humbling. Necessary." She nodded toward Lily, giggling nearby. "She likes you." Ryan cracked a smile. "She's brutal, says my jump shot's trash." Ellen laughed, warm and real. "She's a good judge." His face sobered. "Mrs. Harper, I'm sorry, really sorry, for that day." "No excuse." She met his gaze, steady. "There isn't." "What did you learn?" "Worth's not in clothes or titles, it's respect, default, until proven otherwise." She smiled faintly. "Good. Expensive lesson, though." He nodded, rueful. "Worth it." James joined, hand on Ellen's shoulder, and Ryan braced for more, but James just said, "Fleet's still open, you and Ethan, let's talk." Ryan blinked, gratitude flickering. A second chance, earned not through sales, but through seeing. As the gala wound down, Ryan watched Ellen and James move through the crowd, connecting, not commanding, their wealth a quiet undercurrent to their warmth. He helped Lily back to her mom, her "You're all right, Mr. Ryan" hitting harder than any commission ever had. A month ago, he'd have scoffed at Ellen's t-shirt, her lack of flash. Now, he saw the strength in it, the choice to live real over loud. His old lens, suits equal status, lay shattered, replaced by something truer. Value was in how you lifted others, not how you looked doing it. At the dealership, he'd pushed Reed for new training, mentored Ethan, shed the snap judgments. It wasn't just survival, it was growth. Ellen and James slipped out early, leaving the night to the kids and families they'd fought for. Ryan stayed, stacking chairs, reflecting. His misstep had cost him pride, but gained him perspective. To you reading this, if Ryan's shift stirs you, share it, talk about it, question your own lens. We all judge, it's what we do after that counts. Subscribe if you're in. Stories like these don't just teach, they challenge. Ever been sized up wrong, or missed the mark yourself? Drop it below, your take might spark someone else's shift. Thanks for sticking with us, next tale's waiting.